Harblue back in lineup for Chicken Contendies, where obviously Harblue is dealing with some family stuff in recent times where our best wishes were with him, but he's back.
He is back, and he's also a force for Chicken Contendies. I think they look their best when Harblue is in the lineup. You can definitely ask some questions about his grabs, but about his actual pure performance on Zarya and building grabs, he's definitely very, very good. Montreal running Nomi, who, pretty standard for them, as the pillar fight. Excited.
Gig right now, leading the way for Chicken Contendies. Montreal eating a lot of poke damage early on to this fight, but they're able to re-solidify around the health pack here. Health back in their favor. Now they get to turn the tables a little bit, but why is this going on? Gig just chasing down Goliath. Goliath nowhere to go. Man advantage out to the Contendies, but while that's going on, they're able to demech Salty, so it actually evens out a bit here.
And they catch Gig. So despite Goliath going down, getting isolated from Gig early, which was a good rotation, Harblue will go down next, or he should. Either have him a big...
What?
Buck gets the flail on Nomi as he jumps.
Nomi's gone. He's into the pit, searching for gold. Chicken Contendies now. Respawn's coming back in for them. They're able to re-solidify. Montreal says, we still want to go for it. Logix drops the grab. We're going to get Zolik down early, and Logix charged up, ready to go. Finds two.
Find two. The bomb is out, forcing the trance as well. Post grab. Gig is on top of Goliath. Goliath gets the bubble and he's a peel.
Oh no, the nightmare just continues to intensify there for Goliath. Gig using Primal, but can't actually stand Goliath this time around. Dives on in, gets stunned. Might be raging, but he doesn't have a whole lot of HP to back it on up. Buck out of the fight. And Chicken Contendies now getting burned down by Montreal, but not a bad early opening for them. It's going to be 40 and some change for them by the time that this is recapped.
A really good opening. They get, that time bank like you talked about, but Harblue's going to have grab. They're close to the combo here, and there's no trance anymore for Goliath. So Montreal will have to look to get their engage first. They do have combo, or even just play split if they want to play that game rather than setting up their own grab bomb first.
Yeah, I think Logix is definitely the one to watch here and how Logix is going to look to set this up. Nomi gets caught in the grab early. Going to have to Primal, but it's going to be a lot of damage with Nomi. They don't really care. They just want to burst him on down. Nomi barely able to get away with his life barrier. Just going to catch him in the nick of time. Nomi rotates back over, and Salty's in the pit. Tensa able to boop him in with his thrusters on cooldown, and that's so good for Montreal.
The counterplay from Montreal there was great. In Contendies, I think Harblue had the right idea, trying to solo grab Nomi, but he wasn't. I mean, he was anticipating they'd be able to burn him through his primal, but they don't. And he survives. They invest the grab, don't get a support out, and then it allows for a late beat from Tensa. So it really just came down to they could not finish Nomi in the grab.
Not quite. Montreal now, they've evened the score. 50-45. Chicken Contendies looking to get back in. Nomi under a bit of pressure here early on. Self-destruct from Salty, right to the back. Not going to get what he's looking for. Nomi, though, gets taken down. So self-destruct does enough. It isolates out Montreal enough that Nomi's left on an island, ends up falling. Transcend comes in, not in time to save Nomi in the least. It's still a 5-man assault here from Montreal, and soon to get a whole lot thinner as Harblue finds Naga.
And this should be the cleanup here for Contendies. Goliath's down, Hui's down, Gig picking up 2. The bomb was invested late from Hui just to buy time, which I actually don't even necessarily agree with, but they saw that this portal has been used for Contendies, so they don't have to worry about the combo nearly as much. And now Montreal are still in a pretty good spot. It's grab v grab, and it's really who gets it off first.
And of course, decent advantage here to defenders. Harblue gonna be looking to set that up. It's a little bit all chilly and frozen on our side as fight starts. Harblue though gonna connect on the grab, finding Logix early. But for Montreal doesn't throw a whole lot into it, and they have a bit of time to burn. This might not be the worst thing for them.
I mean, they really didn't have anything to throw into it besides the grab anyways. Yeah. So it was a good, Harb made the choice for them, made the choice for Montreal where he gets the early grab. Now Montreal don't have to worry about moving to this fight. They have the grab of their own. They should know that they're overall still pretty decent in terms of these portals. They just need to look for the engage. Now,
key here, you don't want to throw the grab into the void. Salty's going to be looking for the eat. Doesn't get it. Gig already down off the grab. And off this grab from Logix, Montreal, man advantage. Now going to start powering on through. Chicken Contendies, they need to back up, buy a little bit of time for Gig to get back in.
And now it's going to be the OT contest here for Montreal, but they get another pick. Buck is down. Salty so low. It should just be clean up here for Montreal.
And Contendies just not able to disengage is the bad news. The good news is that it's only 75% for the Rebellion. So even as the Rebellion clean on up here, there's one final opportunity for the Contendies.
There is, especially with Harblue coming up on the grab. The bomb will be up for Salty too. So this has to be, they're going to look for it. Tensa has to hit a perfect beat. Tinsa has to hit it perfectly.
Okay, Montreal, they use rally really early, but it pays off. They catch out Harb. It's unexpected aggression. They use it to isolate down Harblu super early in the fight, and now Montreal just looking to keep Contendies off the point. Pressure keeps on ticking up, 99%. Contendies does get Gig over to the point, but now he's just isolated. Gets Hui, though, before falling, and there still maybe might be a dream here, but it's pretty unlikely. Montreal getting back over to the point in control.
No, this should be it. It should be cleanup. Even with Harblu coming back with a grab, it's all going to be full cleanup here. As we're entirely frozen, by the way. We're hearing the game. We're radio casting. I hear the sounds. Okay, there it is. It's cleaned up. And that was a smart move, by the way, from Montreal to engage first with the rally from Naga and isolate Harb.
Yeah.
That was a great pick. I mean, you removed the grab from the equation, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a very quick, dirty and done type of moment, but it's those types of aggressive plays that can set a difference in a matchup of 3-3s where you can just out-rotate, get an early pickoff. It changes so much.
And when we're complaining also about our feed being frozen, it's not the same feed, it's not the stream, you guys. Yeah. The stream will probably be fine. We're looking at a separate feed that's remote to us, and it looks to have some internet issues.
We just have to stop relying on our senses here and just go full ultra instinct.
We're Daredevil casting.
Okay.
Only audio.
Only audio. We're getting into it. Contendies versus Rebellion. Again, Nomi getting very low here early on. Has to take a few steps off. Backing on up, gonna get healed back over. Chicken Contendies, though, in hot pursuit, trying to make the most of this before Montreal can get the cooldowns back up. We're frozen in time here once again, and Logic's Nomi down. The aggression for Chicken Contendies might be enough. They lose Gig, but still in a better spot.
Yeah, much better spot. Montreal gonna be losing this first fight. Rally out from Buck. I don't think that rally was necessary at all. They were already down 2 players that had so much point control. Buck using the rally means that it won't be available for the next fight. It doesn't sustain like it used to. You don't keep the armor. As we're continually frozen here, I'm watching Suppose reload his orbs. I'm listening to the audio cues.
Yeah, we know that we were on Suppose last time around, and that's where it's going to be. But we do skip forward back in time. Montreal setting up here for their attack once more. Suppose lining up secondary fire. It's Montreal just rushing back out. As far as we can tell.
We think they're rushing it in because our screen is frozen again. We're listening to the engage happen right before my eyes. What are you hearing, ZP?
Well, right now, I have heard a few pickoffs is what we have heard here. It's more than a few.
It's Contendies. Woo! Good fight, Contendies. Excellent. They all are able to get the shatter off and clean it up. And we are frozen once more, so we're definitely dealing with some technical issues on our side. We're doing our best to radio cast it.
It is what we can do, but what we can tell you is the status right now where Contendies up 55% to 0. And it's been a much better round for them here so far.
And Contendies also have combo moving into this fight along with double support ult very soon. Montreal still don't even have their grab, so they're going to have to come in, take this fight. There's the grab out. Transfuse for Goliath. Can they clean up?
Well, Graviton's in again. Oh, yeah, they can clean up. Salty at the self-destruct directly applied to the back of Montreal. 73% to 0. And there's been pure control from the Contendies here. A much better stage.
And now it's for Montreal to flip the point. It's their time. There's no combo out. They're going to have combo of their own very soon. They don't have that trance, which is one thing. So Contendies could realistically look to be extremely aggressive with their double support ult. Get that early engage. Try to deny the point presence. As you see, here comes the drop.
We're going to dive on in. Early barrier here for the Contendies. Later barrier in from Montreal. Nomi looking for the shatter. Giga and drop it first. Doesn't get much of anything. Nomi, his shatter gets much of everything. 3 going to be knocked on down. And Montreal, not necessarily done yet. The transcendence for Contendies. A little bit too late to save Gig as Montreal gets control of the point.
But it's still a good fight for Contendies. They try to be very aggressive. They try to use the portal to their shatter. And they built a lot of time, got it to 98%. Will have grab for the following fight.
Oh, they're going deeper.
They're deciding to grab?
Oh, Harblu grabs under pressure, but there's going to be a grab the other side. Logic's getting a cleanup. I'm not sure I'm really in love with either of the 2 Gravitons there. Less Harbs, but even for cleanup, I think Logic's probably could have saved that one.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of either of those grabs, but I think that Logic's counter grab was a solid play to continue to build up some more ults. to get more time off the clock, and also he was able to build, start building his own grab. So I think the counter grab from Logic was fine. HarBlue's grab was very questionable.
We're getting into it. Early pressure coming from Logix. We're a little bit frozen once more as both teams clash against each other. Shatter comes down.
A
It had to be from Gig.
It had to be from Gig. We see we have 94% on our screen, so Gig must have shattered. Now we're really worried about the cleanup. What's
the
happened?
cleanup was there. It's massive from Gig.
I'm back. We're back. I see we've moved to the next slide, and we found that it's actually Contendies picking up the round.
So it had to be from Gig Shatter there, as best we know.
As best we are aware. We are working with limited information that was Gig's Shatter that cleaned up the fight there.
Working out for the Contendies here.
Very, very good stuff there from Gig. I couldn't see it, and neither could you, but I'm sure that was a fatty shatty.
Well, we just do the math in our head here as we hear hammer down. Like the audio, totally fine.
The math. We're going to pull out the Overwatch calculus. We're going to determine the slope of the tangent here, see what the, how many people were shattered. Let's pull out our various variables.
What was the, no, the calculators, no. The abacus, right? We go real old school.
Oh, we go very old school. We don't need calculus. We have just plain arithmetic. Now it's going to be tied up 1-1, Montreal, Chicken Contendies. The mirror matchup going to be happening here once again. Nomi and Gig both on the Rhine, as both teams are going to be rolling out to the mid.
So definitely a good turnaround for Chicken Contendies there. See if they can keep it up as we move forward into the Shrine. Both teams going to be charging out here. Not a lot of difference to be had so far. Good amount of damage coming in the Nomi's shield, though, to start this out here. Chicken Contendies looking for shield pressure. Nomi backing up a bit in response to the pressure. Gig taking more shots with his body on the other end. Nomi, though, stepping forward in the paint. Going to get taken down. Suppose there in the follow-through. Meanwhile, Gig still very much alive as Contendies look to finish it out.
And there should be cleanup here for Contendies, because they don't. I mean, there's no shield. There's no big rectangle man. Nomi's down early out of the fight. Gig is going to be ahead in that Shadow War as well. Probably going to try to leverage that. It's not a huge advantage, but it is something, when you have that first ult advantage in the fight, you really want to try to leverage it in your control and try to minimize, as much of your resources you put into it as possible.
Montreal going to be rotating back around here. Goliath eating a bit of damage on the way in. Suppose just all over it. Montreal not being super swift in this recontest here. Just the poke slowing them down repeatedly as they try and rotate back in. And now could be lethal. Gig under heavy pressure. Holding on to the Shatter. Transcendence invested from the Contendies, and they just flush Montreal out of the point.
Montreal have to feel okay about that fight, though, considering they got both the Transcendence and the grab out. So they don't have to worry about combo nearly as much for the following fight. They don't have to worry about Transcendence. They're going to have double support ult. And, they're really going to be looking to engage heavily with their own grab. And they know they can survive as long as their backline is not shattered.
So Montreal be setting up here once more, rotating off the high ground. This is leading into a fight they must win. Down 60-0 right now. It's a bit frozen on our side. Last thing we saw was Gig, the Shatter ready. Rally going to be invested.
Rally's invested. Gig dropping Shatter, gets 4? The beat
3.
And the trance.
It was 3. It forces out the support layering, and they don't even save Nomi. All these support ults, and you can't save Nomi. And as a result, Chicken Contendies looking a lot better right now. It was a rough early round, but they've really turned things around. Montreal Rebellion, they invest so much. They get so little.
And they get so little. They're pretty much moving into the next fight with Shatter Bomb. Shatter Bomb is their combo here to win the next fight, and they need to get it off before Contendies can get the combo, before Harb can get this grab. Or just eat the grab, because otherwise they lose. They don't have support lose.
This should be Contendies' fight. They open up at the grab. Giga step up and steps right up into Nomi's Shatter, and they can't get onto the point.
And that was a great grab. A really good grab from Harb, denying them point, making sure they couldn't touch. That's the first map, the way of Chicken Contendies 1-0.
And it's a little bit surprising to me. Contendies coming out much stronger on rounds 2 and 3, where I kind of went a little bit in on this, saying I think it's going to be Montreal. And round 1 went about as expected for how I set things up, but Chicken Contendies really barreled down and played much cleaner in rounds 2 and 3.
I think right now really big difference makers are Gig and Harb. Yeah. Gig and HarBlue are having really good games right now for Chicken Contendies. HarBlue, I mean, he's having questionable grabs at time, but he builds them very, very fast. He's a monster at building. He does a lot of damage. And Gig is also just getting a lot of value on the Reinhardt and staying alive. Getting more, just doing more for his team right now comparatively to Nomi.
And then you think about things on the flip side, right? Where Logix looked every bit his fierce himself on round 1, but kind of tailed away on rounds 2 and 3 where, I mean, part of it was that when you look at Montreal, they weren't really able to get things going the way that they wanted to on 2 and 3. But again, I think part of that is going back to the other point is that Gig has been playing very, very well right now for Chicken Contendies, more so than expected. And personally right now, I take a look at the two tanks. I think it's pretty easy to say that Gig has been outplaying Nomi.
Yeah, he's been looking very, very good. He's definitely having a game so far. I think Suppose is a player where, you know, sometimes he's really good and sometimes he's not. So I think he's been having a pretty good round. He had a pretty good game so far in Nepal. You want to carry that performance obviously through the rest of the series as we wait for the teams to get in. So but overall, it's 1-0 for Contendies. They, you know, they're not out of this by any means. You know, we may have predicted Montreal because we liked their performance, their trajectory moving in. Yeah. But it's definitely not out of the question at all for Contendies to pick up this map and guarantee, or this win, and guarantee their spots in playoff. Yeah, I mean, this would be big for Chicken Contendies. And actually, if we go off the realm that we still think Montreal is a rising team, the absolute worst scenario here, if you're an Uprising fan, is that Chicken Contendies wins this, because if we still think that Montreal should do better as the season goes forward, well, I got news for you. It's pretty bad for Uprising, where Uprising needs one of these two teams essentially to tank. Yeah, definitely not good. And remember, relegation's on the table. And that is, you know, we could be looking at 2 different teams relegated. Unlikely not, because, I mean, Bermuda's probably not going to be making their resurgence anytime soon, I don't think. No. But for sure, one of those teams, either Montreal or Uprising, could be facing relegation, depending if Contendies wins today. Very much so. And yeah, for Bermuda, I think they're technically out of it. Just you can't lose that many straight and still be in it, especially at the map score that they're at. But you know, the 5-6-7, it's been where most of the action has been happening, and I got to tell you, within that entire realm, Chicken Contendies winning here is probably the most disruptive. It is. It is extremely disruptive. Now moving into Blizzard World is going to be our hybrid. Our hybrid map of the day for these two teams. Probably going to be the 3-3, what we see here on Chicken Contendies. We're rolling out on the Ana rather than the Zen, which is, different. I mean, you see Ana used here occasionally because you have good sight lines. Most people still prioritize the Zen, though. I mean, in a sense, it's also going to be a direct challenge at Hui, where it's sort of challenging Hui, saying, can you do your job? Can you eat the Bionades as they move in? Because if you see a whole bunch of people turn purple on Montreal, that's a failure on Hui's part. That is. And Montreal now going to be making the swap. Not going to be playing the triple DPS, just getting the 3-3 with Goliath on the Zen. Moving here to take this fight. And one of the advantages of the Zen is, the longer the fight runs, the more damage you can put out. You have that better defensive ult. As we're sort of playing slideshow presentation here, we're fine. We're back in before the fight starts. Every 1 in 3 frames we're piecing together. It's sort of like how the actual human brain works. We're getting a patchwork idea of what the game is looking like. We are assembling the puzzle pieces as it goes forward, but the fight is in progress this time around. Montreal setting up right now. Chicken Contendies holding a little bit further back. Last we saw it was on Suppose. Not quite sure where it's gone yet, but given the sounds, it has not quite been the engage here. I'm still listening to the Ana shots. Yeah, so it's still a little bit more chilled out. Gig gonna get healed up. The juice is back on. We're seeing what's going on here. And Montreal being still pretty tentative here. And up then a Nano Boost is about to enter the fray, and Gig, he's gonna be the recipient. He's moving forward. His Shadow's ready, and the hammer connects directly to the skull of Goliath. Catching Goliath, Logics as well going down. The anti was out onto Chain. So this is cleanup for Chicken Contendies. It's going to be the first fight win. However, the Nano was used, and Goliath will have that Transcendence for the upcoming fight. As soon as we see the next frame, we will know exactly. And that is pretty much what we're looking at. And Suppose was still getting decent Bionade pressure going in there as well. So, I mean, again, towards Hui, has to be looking at the Matrix side of things here and just focusing on the Ana. Montreal moving in. They don't have their combo just yet, but it's very close. It's essentially equal here with Contendies. A lot of presence going to be based around this combo. Graviton going to be invested here. Transcendence used in response. Salty's bomb right on over. Connects. Chain going to be out of the fight. Chicken Contendies taking this one once more. And one thing we didn't really touch on is that there was a substitution coming in here. It's going to be Shane coming in here for Nomi, and so far it hasn't really changed the calculus much at all. No, it has not. And something to note is not only was that grab set up first for Chicken Contendies, but Suppose was able to negate that Transcendence. He was set up in this position here on in the back line near the Mega, near the high ground, behind the grab, and gets the anti, ensuring the cleanup. Because if you get consistent antis on the Transcendence, you actually, it's a pretty good spot if you're the Ana, because you need to get that, because you don't have a Transcendence of your own.
Very much so. Meanwhile, Suppose hanging back here, not only looking for a sneaky bio nade, but the nano boost right after. And ideally, the combination of the two could be absolutely brilliant right now. We're from the back, looking for the sleep.
Still looking for it.
Bio nade connects onto both tanks. Hui wasn't looking for it. Meanwhile, nano boost gonna be invested. Gig on the shatter right after, knocks down Goliath in the back. Montreal, though, still pretty much okay. Tenses barrier, keeping them alive. Suppose under a lot of pressure. They see Diana in the back. They go, this is a pretty greedy positioning. They rotate back. They deal with Suppose. But I don't even blame Suppose. He got a good bio nade there.
He did. He got the anti off as well. He got the nano. But now it's Contendies having to give a lot of point presence. Coming back in for the recontest. Buck going to have the rally very soon. Goliath does have that trance, and you know, it's sort of frozen. I hear the rally invested for Buck, or maybe Naga. Could be either of them.
Graviton going to be used here almost certainly from Harb in an effort to bring the fight back. Montreal having to rotate around that. Again, the last we saw was Gig.
I don't know.
We don't know.
No, Grab is out more than likely. The rally views, I hear a shatter probably from Chain. He was ahead. You know, we're not too sure. It was Gig and Chain both invested their own shatter.
And Contendies, they were able to bring it back. As it ended up being there, we heard the grab come in and certainly seemed to be enough as Buck gets a cleanup. Final 13 seconds here, and Montreal now might not be able to get back into the point.
More likely than not, they do have the rally. Chain making the swap onto Hammond, going to be back for that recontest. You hear the rally out for Naga as Contendies move towards the point.
Oh, they're looking for it. The Sleep Dart going to be coming out here. Suppose back onto a point. That puts Shane in a really rough spot. Likely already down. The last thing we saw was a flash of green.
It was a very big flash of green as Contendies still holding the point. You see the grab out. We're traded. Both Logic and Hardblue using them. We're once again audio casting. Bombs out too. That's probably for Salty, or actually maybe Hui.
I think it was probably Hui's bomb that just came out there, but it was a last moment. Or no, it was Salty's bomb.
It was both.
Yeah, it was both. That same bomb. So Salty is able to build up bomb at the same time. We're in overtime, and it's not enough. Montreal cannot get on point A.
Great hold for Contendies. I see they've been utilizing the frame drop method of defense that we're getting.
We're very familiar with the frame drop method.
You move between the frames that are available to the casters, then that's when you have your most effective defense. So very, very good stuff from them. I like the new tech, the new age tech coming their way, and you know, and a non-joking version here. Montreal, I mean, they're struggling against Contendies. Hardblue, Gig, they're still being, I mean, even Suppose with a great position on the defense, they're looking solid. They first held, I mean, they did give out ticks to Montreal, so there is a win condition on the field, but they have to be feeling some pressure now if you're Montreal. This is, you know, what they expected to be an easier matchup for them considering their earlier strength of schedule. Moving now on to Chicken Contendies offense. Montreal going to be on the defense.
Indeed. So, a little bit back and forth for us here as we piece together exactly how that last fight went, but in the end, it comes down to the results, and the results are Chicken Contendies looking much stronger here than certainly I anticipated coming into this, and Montreal, again, they had a pretty good round one back on Nepal, but after that, it's been rough coordination across the way.
It has. You know, I really, you know, I'm a big fan of the CSI. The Contenders scene investigators as they're piecing together our frame rate to determine, you know, as we move to the next one, what happened in that fight. You know, we take our audio cues. We're doing our best Daredevil impression. Moving here into the first offense here for Contendies. And remember, they don't have to get, you know, a full cap. They just have to get above 77.3. That's all they need. Yeah,
and it's a pretty easy win condition, but of course, this is also where a just absolute path to sorrow is paved, where you think you have the match in hand and then you don't get that 77.3. But the way that Chicken Contendies have been playing, I'd be shocked if they didn't get that here. High aggression coming out. Chain gonna get displaced in a rough spot, taken down. Man advantage already to the Contendies, even as the Bionade strikes.
Yeah, the Bionade strikes, but Chain's already down now. Gig has that shield. Contendies can advance. Just player on Suppose and Zola getting a lot of value here from their damage. We're still quite frozen. I hear another nade come out, but you know, I don't know what the effectiveness of it may be.
Well, the last thing we saw was Gig swing for the fences after an early pickoff. That's probably a shatter that came in. It had to be, because Shane was dead early. Yeah, so that had to be Gig shatter. He's still in the fight, drops it down, and the way it's been, wouldn't surprise me if it was a good 2 or 3.
Hey, you know, it could be anyone. As the point is cleaned up now, we're back. Buck dropping the rally. Just clean up here for Chicken Contendies. Great predictive model there from UZP. Knowing that Chain was dead, dropping the shadow several down.
Yeah,
So,
there was only one Ryan it could be. We still got this. We can tell you who shattered.
I'm a big fan of your models here. This is some true stats. This is what Captain Planet would love.
Yeah,
seeing all his prediction coming out.
You know, you think this is getting on Captain Planet's territory right now. Just wait till, you know, next Overwatch World Cup coming out here with the USA bodysuit.
Oh, wow.
That was Captain Planet. That was him.
That was?
You didn't know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But that is going to be the win, the map win for Chicken Contendies. It's up. They're up 2-0 at the half.
Yeah.
What it seemed like, you know, when we talked about it, we thought Montreal was strong coming in. Contendies with Harb, I mean, with Gig at the forefront, they're looking really, really good.
Yeah, I think better perhaps, and we've seen them all season long. So if you're a Contendies fan, this has been something to watch, and then some. Gig has been leading the way. But, guys, we are going to take a quick break, hopefully fix some of the tech issues we've been having in the middle of the break. Going to make an effective 6 minutes. But, guys, we'll be right back.